welcome back to All About That Disney Life. I am Danny B, the girl who is all about that Disney life. We now move on to the decade of the 2000s, which I have been really looking forward to talking about because a lot of Disney fans will know that the 2000s was the decade for the Disney sequels, and we had a lot of them, especially in the early to the mid 2000s. That's when majority of the Disney sequels came out. So with that being said, we now move on to the Tigger movie, which came out in 2000. So let's get to know this cast. Jim Cummings was Tigger and Winnie the Pooh. Nikita Hopkins was Roo. Ken Sansom was Rabbit. John Fiedler was Piglet. Peter Cullen was Eeyore. Andre Stojda was Owl, Kath Soucie was Kanga, Tom Attenborough was Christopher Robin, and John Hurt was the narrator. Now, before we move on to the facts about the Tigger movie, I just want to point out that a lot of the Disney sequels that I will be talking about, because I think I have seen majority or almost all of the Disney sequels from the 2000s. So a lot of the Disney sequels that I have been researching and trying to find facts about, they either don't mention how they made the movie or why the sequel was made to the original movie. So what I plan to do is dig a little further and dig a little bit deeper and try to find the good and the bad points for the Disney sequels, like the good qualities, the bad qualities, and try to get a general idea about each Disney sequel. Was it worth being made? Was it really necessary to have a sequel part of a franchise? So let's move on to the facts all about the Tigger movie. Number 1, an original thought. The movie was going to be a direct-to-video release in 2001 until Michael Eisner heard the Sherman Brothers songs from the original Winnie the Pooh cartoons that came out in the mid-1960s to early 1970s. And that's when Michael Eisner decided that he would release the movie into theaters worldwide a year earlier. And the songs for the Tigger movie, they were written by the Sherman Brothers, so there's some nostalgia for you there. Number 2, the original Tigger. Paul Winchell was the original voice of Tigger, and he was going to be in this movie, which was then called Winnie the Pooh and the Family Tree. But during the spring of 1998, Winchell participated in a single recording session for the movie. However, he was dropped from the project after the studio found his voice to be too raspy. Well, obviously, because he was a little bit older than he was when he first voiced Tigger back in the mid-1960s. The role was then given to Jim Cummings, who was already voicing Winnie the Pooh for the movie, and he had voiced Tigger on various Disney television shows and for Disney consumer products. When the Disney Imagineers heard about Winchell's dismissal, they hired him to perform the voice of Tigger for the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh attraction at Magic Kingdom, which opened a year before this movie's release. This was Winchell's last performance before his retirement from acting in 1999 and his death in 2005. Number 3, the release. The Tigger movie premiered at the EI Capitan Theater on February 6, 2000. It was then released into theaters on February 11th, 2000, and this movie was on screens for 23 weeks. Number 4, the box office. This movie opened at number 4 at the U.S. box office, making $9.4 million in its opening weekend. The movie was a box office success, earning over $45 million in the United States and Canada, and over $50 million overseas for a worldwide total of over $96 million. The budget for the movie was initially between $15 and $30 million, so it made its money back. And when it was released onto home video, it earned an additional $90 million. Number 5, nominations. At the Annie Awards, this movie was nominated for directing in a feature production, but it lost to Toy Story 2. Nikita Hopkins was nominated for voice acting in a feature production, but he lost to Tim Allen for Toy Story 2. Round My Family Tree was nominated for music in a feature production, but it lost to Toy Story 2. At the Las Vegas Film Critics Society Awards, this movie was nominated for Best Family Film, but it lost to Chicken Run. And at the Golden Tomato Awards, this movie took 4th place for Best Animated Film. Number 6, bonus facts. Theatrical showings of this movie were accompanied by the Disney Mambo No. 5 music video, making this movie one of the 2 theatrical feature-length Winnie the Pooh movies to be theatrically accompanied by a special added attraction. The next one would be 2011's Winnie the Pooh movie, which was theatrically accompanied by a Walt Disney Animation Studios short movie called The Ballad of Nessie. This is the first Winnie the Pooh movie to have a character other than Pooh as the main protagonist. This is what I appreciate about this sequel for the Winnie the Pooh franchise, is that Tigger is the main focus. Tigger is the main protagonist. We get to hear a true Tigger story. The many other sequels that we'll be talking about, each one of the characters, not all of them, but a few of them, they have their own little moments to be main protagonists in their own movies. Gopher is not in this movie. We don't see or hear from Gopher ever again. I think the last time that we see or hear from Gopher, it's either the Winnie the Pooh TV series that was on the Disney Channel, or it was one of the Disney Winnie the Pooh movie specials regarding Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's in that movie. I think that's the last time that we hear or see from Gopher, because we don't know what happened to him. This is the first Winnie the Pooh movie with a book opening and setting where the characters do not interact with the narrator and they're not aware of them being in a book, with the exception of Tigger in the opening scene. Yeah, the conversations between the characters and the narrator is what I kind of enjoy because it's kind of funny, but the fact that Tigger is the only one who interacts with the narrator in the beginning, and then that's it. It's different, but it works. This is the first Winnie the Pooh feature film to not have the Winnie the Pooh theme song in the intro. Yeah, I realize that now as I look back on all the Winnie the Pooh sequels that I have seen. This is the only Winnie the Pooh movie that I think it doesn't have the Winnie the Pooh theme song in the beginning or anywhere in the intro. You need to have the intro. It's iconic. It's tradition. And this is the first theatrical Winnie the Pooh movie to not be made up from a collection of shorts. So this isn't an original Winnie the Pooh idea story. It didn't come from the books from A.A. Milne. It didn't come from the cartoons. It didn't come from the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, the movie. None of the shorts that were done previously. This is an original Winnie the Pooh idea. And there you have it, all the facts to the Tigger movie. If you like this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you have a zippity-doo-dah day. Goodbye.